Hey, welcome to House Shows Direct. My name is BJ Kinney, and today on the show we have Bevin Luna, based right here in Fort Collins, Colorado. We had a lovely conversation about her work in Antarctica, how she balances her career in music, and discovered we both just happen to have childhood Huskies named Bandit, who ran away never to return. You can learn all about her and her music at bevinluna.com. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, Edward Jones Financial. Nicole Sheriff is your go-to financial advisor in Fort Collins, Colorado. I also want to thank the Choice City Stomp. Their next music festival is April 10th and 11th. You don't want to miss this one. It's a killer lineup. Here's my conversation with singer-songwriter and rock and roller Bevin Luna. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Bevin Luna.
Hello.
Well, yeah, I've been listening to your music the last couple days. I love it. I'm definitely getting like some punk vibes in there.
Thanks.
Which I love. I grew up playing punk music.
Nice.
And I'm also hearing like a lot of alternative rock.
Yeah.
There's some other flavors in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of hard to pin it down.
Yeah, it's a blend. I like a lot of old rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I love, the R&B that led up to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I love punk music. I love grunge a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot of grunge in there.
Yep.
I love, pop music too,
Mm-hmm.
like I kind of love all the genres of music. So
Yeah, me too.
it's a little bit of a mix of things. I would say that I was a late bloomer with punk, and I was more so into like alternative and hard rock and grunge before I actually like discovered punk. Like I would say Dead Milkmen, Punk Rock Girl was like my first song and video that I saw on MTV that I was like, punk rock music,
Yeah.
But that was definitely like, I wasn't as knowledgeable about punk until later in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was grunge first.
I would say first it was like Soundgarden, yeah, and early Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
I also loved Depeche Mode and The Cure.
Oh, nice.
You know? So those kinds of things were really influential for me.
Yeah.
But then when I was younger, I loved like the trifecta of Prince, Madonna, and Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But then I also loved Devo, and I loved like Oingo Boingo. And, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of Soundgarden, I remember first seeing the Black Hole Sun music video on MTV. We had like this cable guy showed up, and we kind of lived in like kind of projects, like government subsidized housing. And this like cable guy was going door to door through these townhomes and knocked on our door and was like, hey, we can hook up free cable for 6 months for you. And then we kill it and you can pay month to month after that.
Yeah.
And so we got it hooked up. And like the first thing that came on was Green Day, Basket Case.
Nice.
And then it was like Soundgarden and, Nirvana.
Yeah.
And then it was like Beastie Boys, Sure Shot. And it was like the best time for suddenly MTV to just be in my face.
That's awesome.
But I love Soundgarden. Yeah.
Yeah. They had like the big eyes and stuff. Video. Yeah. That was like creepy.
Where they're like poking the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was super weird. And their faces were all.
Right.
Yeah. It was kind of creepy.
It looks like the filters they have on like Snapchat now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. We mess with people's faces and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So sounds like you've had like a lot of different influences as far as genres and stuff you listened to growing up. How'd you actually get into playing music?
My family is very musical, so I grew up with just instruments around me my whole life. My dad plays, and he grew up in a band. He's from the Dominican Republic, and they had a family band, and so they traveled the world playing together. So him and his sisters and my grandparents, and he was the guitar player, and then one of my aunts played keys, one of my aunts played the drums, one of my aunts played the bass.
Okay.
And then my grandmother sang, and my grandfather sang, and so my dad's side is super musical. And so that kind of music is more so like Caribbean music, Dominican music, and so the genre, influence for me comes from that part of the world as far as like salsa, merengue, bachata music. But then my mom is from West Tennessee.
Okay.
So, growing up around Memphis with the whole gospel, R&B, birthplace of rock and roll thing that's happening there. Hip hop and rap there.
Yep.
And so my mom's family's super musical too, because they're right outside of Memphis. And so
You got lucky.
yeah. So my mom loves to sing. My grandparents both on her side played guitar and mandolin and banjo and you name it. There was always songs going on and people singing and playing. And so I just kind of grew up with a lot of music around. And I picked up a guitar when I was like 9, 10 years old and been playing ever since.
Took right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started around like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I just loved it right away.
Yeah. I mean, it was like such a gift because when you're a kid and you don't know what you really want to do, but you find something that you just really just dig into and you can spend hours doing it is such a gift,
Yeah.
It just gives you something to focus on and just like see progress and be able to like emulate what you're hearing that moves you,
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like my younger years, I definitely spent a lot of time learning how to play other people's music before I truly started writing myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I would make up little ditties and like my cousins make fun of me now because they're like, Marie used to like make up little songs all the time and I would sing about like spiders on the wall or whatever. But then when I started playing the guitar, I just focused on playing the guitar and like trying to figure out how are people making those sounds, And so.
Do you start on acoustic or electric?
I started on a classical acoustic at my dad's house.
Okay, yeah.
In Miami.
Nylon string.
Yep.
A little easier to play.
But somebody just asked me this the other night, my friend Eric, who plays guitar too, Eric Straumanis, he's like, what's your music origin story, And I told him that one summer I was at my dad's house in Miami and he would always get up on the weekends and just blast his amp and jam along with like Santana or like George Benson or Led Zeppelin or you name it, Aerosmith, whatever. He loved Al Di Meola and all that crazy jazz fusion stuff too. But I just latched on to Stairway to Heaven and I was like,
oh, nice.
I want to learn how to play that song.
Yeah.
And so my dad,
It's a hard one.
taught me. And then I literally just spent the entire summer learning that one song. Like I didn't want to learn anything else. I just spent all summer like breaking down the song,
Yeah, piece by piece.
Yeah. And so after that, then I was like, okay, any song is doable after that monstrosity,
Yep. Yeah.
And so when I saw Wayne's World and they were like, no stairway, I was literally like, yes, no stairway. I'm so burnt out on that song at this point in my life,
Yep. Yeah. It's right there with Wagon Wheel now.
Oh.
I think you can play Stairway again now.
I think that's definitely like over Wagon Wheel. We played at the swing station one year for, I think it was New Year's Eve. Can't remember. I think it was a New Year's Eve show. And we had learned how to play Go With The Flow by Queens of the Stone Age. And so we were like, hey, have you guys heard of that song Wagon Wheel? We're going to play that for you, And so everybody was kind of confused. And then we just launched into Go With The Flow by Queens of the Stone Age.
Nice.
And at first everyone was like, don't do it.
Yeah,
like don't play it.
No.
They're like cringing.
Yeah. There was a night where I was hanging out with a bunch of musician friends in here. And, Rooster just moved to New York. But he had been living in the Tiny Home Bus.
Yeah.
And I mean, most like people that have played like folk and bluegrass music just hate that song in general. And Rooster, I could see Rooster, we were in here hanging out jamming, right?
Yeah.
And I could see Rooster walking from back here, like approaching the barn. And I'm like, you guys, let's switch to Wagon Wheel. So like, we switched to Wagon Wheel and we're just acting like it's not a big deal. And we're just like giving it everything we got. And he just walks in and is like, what is happening? But we played it off like it was totally normal.
Like violated some code.
Yeah, exactly.
Some unspoken rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that song definitely like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny too because I went to Appalachian State in the 90s and when I was there, Old Crow Medicine Show was living in Boone and they were always just like playing on the street. Like I would just walk past them all the time. I'd throw money in their cases. They'd jump out of pickup trucks with muddy boots on. And I'd go see them at little shows like a place called Cottonwood Brewery and I could just like tap foots with them because they were that close to me,
Yeah.
And like I loved their early stuff. They had like this punk rock feel to their music and it was fast, and then Willie Watson was with them.
Yeah, I'm still with them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And my good friend lived with them out on this farm, and she became good friends with Willie, and she was the one who really, talked me into going to see their shows. Because I honestly, like, coming from Memphis, which was West Tennessee, is way different than East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, where it's much more like hillbilly, bluegrass sound, whereas Memphis is more like R&B, blues, rock, and rap,
Yep.
And so it took a while for me to be convinced I need to go check out this band, Old Crow Medicine Show. And once I did, I loved them, and I thought they were amazing,
Cool.
And so when Wagon Wheel came out and it just like churned and churned, I was like, no.
When Darius Rucker did it, and then it's like, okay, it's.
I know. I was like, all right, it's over. But I still have respect for Old Crow and the history of them, and I have a nostalgic memory of them in Boone, North Carolina. So
Yeah, I kind of wish Willie was still with them, but I also love like the solo stuff he's done, the folk singer stuff.
yeah,
It's just been amazing. He actually came to and when we had Clover Lake Banjo Shop at the other location, he actually popped in there when he was playing in Denver because he was shooting a movie with the guy that made like the Vin Diesel movies, like Triple X and those movies. Yeah, because he was like in Ballad of Buster Scruggs and stuff. He played the kid and he killed Buster Scruggs.
Yep.
So he'd been in some of those roles.
Wow.
But the guy had him playing, I think it was like around the Civil War era.
Okay.
But it's basically the shot is he's sitting around the campfire just playing a banjo song for like the families and all the people sitting there. And so.
You may stop that.
Oh, that's your phone? Yeah. You can grab it.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, doesn't matter.
I forgot I had an alarm set.
The other day I had the compressor that I had left on, and we probably wouldn't have heard that anyway.
All right.
And the compressor just kicks on, and I'm like, oh, shit.
I just forget I have an alarm set on my phone.
Oh, no, it's all good. But anyway, so, he was getting ready to go film this movie, and it was like right before COVID hit.
Oh, okay.
And so he came into the shop and was like, hey, I need a Civil War era banjo that can actually play. Nice. And he points at the wall and he's like, what's up with that banjo? And it was a Civil War era banjo on the wall in the shop.
Wow.
And Rooster's like, the neck is shot, but the pot, I can save the pot, and the tailpiece. And so Rooster stayed up all night, and took another neck blank that we had that was kind of a Civil War style shape, and basically formed that thing to this old banjo pot, put it together in 24 hours, drove down to Denver, went backstage, brings it to Willie, and Willie sits down and plays it. And he's like, holy crap.
That's amazing.
Gets on a plane the next day to Africa, goes and films the scene, comes back, and then they wrapped up shooting right before COVID hit, and they actually released the movie like literally right before COVID hit. And so it's really cool seeing him sit and play one of our bands. I think it's like called Endless Love or Endless Summer or something. It's not like an amazing movie, but it's a Hollywood film.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
But that's our connection to Willie Watson. He's got a Clover Lake banjo.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's not surprising either. I feel like that lines up really well with everything that you all do and everyone that you attract and get in here. And you've had some impressive folks coming through here. Yeah,
I mean, I just feel blessed to have, just get to hang out with all these cool artists. And I feel like I snuck my foot in the back door. Honestly, and, I mean, even listening to your music building up to this, I'm like, damn, Bevin rocks. I get to hang out with her. That's amazing.
I felt the same too when you asked for me to come over. I was like, I love that place. And we did that shoot in the, tree house, the pirate ship tree house. It was so much fun.
Magnolia Sessions.
Yep.
Shout out to Kevin.
Yep.
Yep. I love what he's doing with that.
Yeah.
He's helping out a lot of artists.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've gotten so many people who've, reached out to me that I would never have known.
Yeah.
Who just randomly saw that video and just really connected with that.
It turned out so cool.
I love it.
Yeah. I think that's the only video filmed in the tree fort.
Really?
Yeah. You had like the drone going. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
The drone shots are amazing.
So pro. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Bridget has the accordion, right? Mm-hmm. And then Jesse's on his dobro.
Yeah.
So I just like the mix of all the different instruments in that. And then Shane's back there playing his
the background, like across the bridge. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was the first time. Oh, Maggie wants to get in. Maggie, I'll let you in. Come here.
She needs her moment on the camera.
Come on in. Here. You want to join us?
What's going on? Would you like him to add to the conversation?
Come up. Come up. Come up.
You good dog. It's okay.
Get up.
She's like, I don't know. I'm stage shy.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the first time I heard you play. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I actually listened to like your albums and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, she's a rocker.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So what has it been like for you, anything from like finding local gigs, like, and touring, like, what is that life like for you? Is it a grind? Is it tough or?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go on tour, but I've never been on tour.
Oh, really?
Yep. I've played like one-off shows here and there.
Yeah.
But I've never been on tour.
Really?
Yep.
But are you from Tennessee then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So.
And you've probably played out there a bit, right?
Yeah. So when I go home, I'll play shows.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes will play like shows with friends that are down there. My brother lives in Memphis, and so we spent a lot of our lives playing together.
Cool.
Either in Memphis or here. He lived here for a while too, so we played a bunch of shows here together. I've always loved music in a way that I play for fun and I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have had a career as an industrial hygienist, and I work in like health and safety.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you about your day job. Oh, yeah. And you aren't you somebody told me you're like an Arctic explorer?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, we do Arctic logistics. And so my role is I'm the health, safety, and environment manager for a company that supports research funded by the National Science Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we work in Greenland and Alaska.
Okay.
So we have stations that we maintain there, and whether it's dormitories or dining facilities, heavy equipment operations, generator maintenance,
yep,
construction activities, which are big for health and safety,
mm-hmm,
a lot of flight operations, a lot of helicopter operations, and
wow.
So it's really exciting and really fun.
Yeah.
So that's my full-time gig, and I love it. And sometimes I get to find a guitar in those places tucked in the corner, and
I bet they love that.
yeah, it's fun because sometimes I'll show up at station and it's like, oh, it's talent night. Everybody's got to share a talent, and so then I get to play guitar and sing with people. Or like at our station in Alaska, this last time I was there was a guitar in the corner that was pretty well maintained, and a lot of us sat around one evening and played songs and sang together, and it was just like such a great way to connect with everyone that I work with, when most of the time it's just me showing up and talking about safety and hazardous energy control. Or
you guys have what, like a base you're all hanging out at, or like a common building? Do you all stay in there then? Is it like a bunkhouse situation, or
there's different setups? So there's some little tents that are set up that kind of look like Quonset huts.
Yeah.
There's also dormitories.
Mm-hmm.
At one of our sites in Greenland, we have fish huts. So it's like fish huts in Minnesota, that you go ice fishing in, but they're just set up as like a dorm. Like you just have a bed and a little heater and a little side table, and that's your room that you sleep in.
That's what I imagine. Like I've definitely, growing up in Minnesota, I've definitely like hung out in ice fishing houses and done, I do yurt trips and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just love that. Like, it's so cozy.
Yeah.
You're kind of stuck with each other.
Yeah.
And the most little stupid mundane things like break your boredom. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's just a game of cards or playing an instrument or, just bullshitting.
Yeah. There was someone who played the flute as one of their talents when I was there one time. Yeah. One guy had a whole poem that he had, memorized, and he presented it very theatrically. It was like being at the theater, and he just converted the entire, we called it at the time the Big House. It's changed the name to the Station Operations Facility now, but we have a, max population of 42 people on station. So it's at the very top of the Greenland ice sheet. It's at like 10,800 feet.
I bet it's gorgeous there.
It's amazing. It's literally one of the most remote places I've ever been, and then just one of the most unique places too.
Wow.
But yeah, like you said, there's not a whole lot around, and so the way that you entertain each other it's a lot more moving when someone has something to bring as far as a talent to share. Yeah.
So,
but back to your question though, I've always really enjoyed my career in health and safety, and it's also funded my music too, so I can play shows, pay for recordings, pay for merch, pay for my business, to keep going and not feel like I have to grind all the time to play on tour. And I definitely am not like making a ton of money with music. It's more of like a fun thing for me because I'll just always be a musician.
Yeah.
And I love it,
I feel like that's, the music that comes, and especially the performances that come out of that space of like, I'm just doing this because I want to.
Yeah.
And I want to share my music and just story with you guys and just do this versus like having to just grind it out. I feel bad for artists that don't have like at least a half decent paying job, and they're like kind of relying on that, and then they have to tour and just it's got to be exhausting and overstimulating.
It is. It seems like it is. I mean, I can't speak from that experience, but I have a lot of friends who are in that boat, and it really seems like a soul crushing situation to be in when you're relying on that, and the way that the music industry is set up as far as like venues and the how much of a cut they take, and the booking agents and managers and the labels and just everything around it is just really sad to me that people can't make a good living with it.
Yeah, and that's a part of why I'm like doing this. Just trying to like and the whole house shows direct effort really is trying to help artists actually make more money, have more listening spaces, and just they can show up and play a little house show and make $500. And it's easy, they set up and then they keep 100% of their merch, and that kind of balances it out with playing traditional music venues, and then I had this idea of just because some of my favorite conversations are sitting here talking to artists by the wood stove. And so I'm like, I'm just going to start inviting artists over and
I love it.
Get to know them a little bit. But a lot of artists are actually kind of relying on the house show scene now because of, online streaming and all that.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, giving an artist the ability to keep 100% of what they're selling is huge because venues take such a huge cut on everything. The ticket sales, and then they expect you to push everything and do all the marketing and advertising to get the ticket sales. And then they take a cut of your merch. So it's huge because that pays for a lot when you bring in the people who want to support people.
And I don't, I don't think there's necessarily like a bad guy in the whole scenario. Maybe some of the, bigger corporate entities, but like, there's a lot of music venues. They're just struggling to get by too. You know what I mean? And, it's just the evolution of technology. Really, that's kind of screwed artists a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got to kind of work with that. You want to get back out, Maggie? Okay, we'll let you back out. Come on. But yeah, just playing music for fun. I mean, I love playing music. I actually don't play that often, but I remember like being in punk bands as a kid or trying to form a band. But whenever it would get not fun or somebody get too controlling or suddenly it just felt like work, I would just like walk away from it,
totally.
For months sometimes,
Yeah, it shouldn't, at least for me, I don't want it to feel like work or stressful. I don't want to have to get into like personal conflicts with people because there's like competing egos or, any of that. So I've got a great group of folks here in Fort Collins that I play with, and I'm so grateful for them.
Eric plays with you?
Yeah, Eric Shamanis, AJ Knight, Justin Mall, and Ronnie Allen on the bass. And sometimes we play with Dave Nielsen. It just depends on who's available too, because like Ronnie plays with Bo DePena, and he's traveling all over the place with him. And then Dave plays with a bunch of different bands. Eric plays with a bunch of bands. AJ's in like 6 bands, I feel like. Justin's in a few bands. So we all find time to, play my original music. And we've been working on writing some stuff together, and we released a couple songs last year that we all contributed to, which was really fun. And it was just fun, Yeah,
there's a lot of local talent around here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm always impressed with like how many different people play in different bands, like, Tobias.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many bands he drums in.
Yeah,
And
no kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah, anytime anybody is coming through and they're like, I need a drummer, I immediately think of Tobias.
I know.
Because he can play any style, too. I mean, he can go from playing, like,
Yeah.
frail talk style to metal.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen him play metal at Surfside.
Yeah, he can go super soft. He can go hard. Yeah.
So he's really so talented.
I miss Whippoorwill.
Yeah. Yep.
God, they were amazing.
I know. Yeah.
I know. But Alicia's still tearing it up. I don't know what Stacy's up to. I know she's down. Is she in Kerrville or just outside of Kerrville?
She's near Kerrville. I think it's near like San Marcos.
Yeah.
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 She seems like she's doing well.
Yeah. They did a Magnolia Sessions in here.
I think I saw that one.
Actually. Yeah, it turned out great.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Everything they did was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel so lucky to, have the chance to get to know so many cool artists. And,
Yeah, this town is special like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fort Collins, if you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Fort Collins.
For those of you watching in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely great music there. And I lived there for 8 years when I first moved here.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's where I really started playing out was in Denver.
Okay. What venues?
The Lion's Lair,
Mm-hmm.
the Walnut Room. My first open mic was at the Mercury Cafe.
Okay. How long ago was that?
Oh my gosh, that was 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So 20 years ago.
Nice.
Almost 21 years ago. But yeah.
Yeah, open mics are a great way to get started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
My first one was at Lucky Joe's.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, back
When I came to
2010.
Yeah, when I came to Fort Collins, that was one of the first ones I went to actually see music in town because somebody told me there was live music there. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then I ended up seeing Corey Brandon there.
Corey Brandon?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know him.
I'll send you some of his music if
All
you
right.
like him.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, Denver is a great place for music, but it doesn't have the same cohesive community feel that it does here in Fort Collins.
Yeah, it's a little more broken up.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
There's like neighborhoods and
Yeah.
some people play more in Boulder. Some people play more like in on South Broadway, like High Dive.
Yep.
And then there's folks who are playing in the smaller venues like the Meadowlark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just been an interesting progression over the years down there.
Cool. Well, I think we're going to do a short break.
Hey folks, if you're in northern Colorado or just want to visit and check out a really cool music festival, jump on Facebook or Instagram and follow the Choice City Stomp. It's a small roots music festival held in the spring, summer, and fall with some killer local and touring artists. Elaine Holmes, who runs the Stomp, is a hardworking school teacher by day and a music promotion superhero by night. We don't call her sister music for nothing. And now, a few words from Elaine with the Choice City Stomp.
Hey everybody, my name is Elaine Holmes and I run the Choice City Stomp in Fort Collins, Colorado. We have a very special music community in northern Colorado. The artists get that love. They get that vibe. We have a bunch of local artists that we love to get in front of people, but we have a lot of touring acts as well. One of our favorites is the Hoot and Hollers from Columbia, Missouri, Possessed by Paul James from Texas, Willie T. Taylor, California. But man, we are so blessed to be surrounded by musicians that are world class, but maybe not everybody knows who they are. Usually held at the Swing Station. It's a small venue, so you're welcome in. It's a nice little honky tonk. Lots of room for dancing. Lots of spirits to be served. But it's mostly just us having a good time, gathering together, dancing with our friends, meeting new people. It's an exciting environment, and it's family meet family. That's what it feels like. We've got a scene going here, and it's a real cool scene. You should join us and find out about these unique and wonderful individuals.
But yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty good balance between like your work life, music. How often are you up doing your job up there?
Let's see, our season's from like April to August. And so I'll have a trip, once a month through those months.
Mm.
And I'll leave for like 3 weeks at a time, is typical.
Cool.
But yeah, it just depends on the year.
Yep. And then do you work from home also?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so I'm based out of Fort Collins when I'm not traveling.
oh cool.
Yeah, but like I'm going to DC next month for a meeting we have out there. So it's not always to Greenland or Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can pretty much work remotely when you're...
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so, sometimes we'll go and just spend some time in the mountains and play outside in the evenings, but I can still work during the day, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take my guitars and play some music and get some work done and be outside.
sounds like a perfect balance with work and lifestyle.
Work definitely has been dominating my life a little bit more, and I'd like to play music a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like that's really balanced right now. I'm not playing as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
So, gotta figure that out. But
Definitely.
it's always shifting and moving things around to try to get that good balance.
How did you get into this line of work? Like, were your parents or anybody else in your family doing it, or?
No. When I lived in Denver a year ago, I started working at National Jewish Hospital.
Okay.
And I just got like a low-level entry, like clinical research coordinator position. It was a lot of administrative work, you know. And so I was just helping them with their research projects. And one of the guys I worked with was an industrial hygienist. And I had no idea what that was. I was like, I have no idea what you're even talking about. Like, what does that mean? And he said, well, it's exposure science, and it's people who are exposed to hazards in the working environment. And so in the industrial environment, right? And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know? And so working with him, I thought that's a really fascinating job because it covers everything. Like every person works and every person has an exposure at work that they're dealing with that relates to health and safety, you know? And what really interested me was the longer term, like things that are invisible that can hurt you later, you know? So like hearing loss, respiratory illness. I know, especially being a musician.
My right ear. I'm like,
and working with power tools and, you know, just any sort of heavy equipment operation, riding my motorcycles, shooting guns, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All those things contribute. So more of the things that are invisible, like respiratory illness, you know, if you're around something that's hazardous to your lungs and it takes 15 years for it to show up, like
asbestos.
Asbestos, silica, coal dust, any kind of chemicals people use in like pharmaceutical manufacturing.
It applies to every single thing.
Grain dust with agriculture, you know, that's a big one. There's like farmer's lung that people can get. So there's just like all of these invisible hazards out there that it's really rewarding to work with people and help facilitate their knowledge about it and give them a heads up when they're like ahead of the game a little bit and say, look, like this could affect you, you know, 15 years down the road. So take care now by following these procedures or steps, whatever your company or our company has put in place. So I got really interested in that just because I worked a lot of shit jobs for a long time before I got into this field. And I was like, oh, I know all about those hazards because I've had a lot of crazy jobs, you know, whether it's painting houses, doing home renovations, working in nasty kitchens, you know, just working around loud equipment, doing landscaping, you know, whatever it might be. So
I can relate.
So that's what attracted me to it, but I really had not known anyone in that field beforehand. So
cool. Well, one thing I was curious about is like, so you come from a big musical family. What was it like growing up? You said you had a brother. What was your life like just growing up? Like, what was your household like, you know?
We so my parents were together until I was 10. So I would say like...
Me too.
Yeah, it was a different, you know, family vibe up until then. So we had like a lot of gatherings with like my dad's family and my mom's family. So up until we were 10, it was like a lot of like people together and, you know, we would go between Dominican Republic, playing with kids in the streets there versus being in West Tennessee in the country, just playing in the woods with all the neighborhood kids there.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of like this crazy wildling experience of really being outdoors and being like street kids.
So were you were in Tennessee when your parents were together, and then did your dad go back to the Dominican or?
No, we would go visit. And then we lived in Puerto Rico too when I was growing up. And then, so both my parents were in the military, so we moved around quite a bit.
Okay.
So my mom was in the Army, my dad was in the Army. I was born in Hawaii, actually.
Oh, wow.
And then we kind of like bounced around and ended up in Tennessee for a while. And then my dad got a job in Miami, so then we moved to Miami. And so there was a lot of moving when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, you know, kids in our family that we'd hang out with in each of those locations where we lived, whether it was my mom's side or my dad's side. I feel like it was really playful, you know, like we did a
Yeah.
lot of like playing in the woods, riding our bikes, riding skateboards,
Yep.
listening to music, going to concerts. My parents loved going to shows, and so we would go to a lot of shows. And yeah, and then after my parents got divorced, it just kind of changed the dynamic because then we were either with my dad's family or with my mom's family.
Yeah.
So that just sort of, and it wasn't necessarily like a negative thing. I know a lot of people consider that to be a negative thing, but
Mhm.
I think they were in a place where they needed to separate.
Yep.
And it was better for them mentally to like not be together anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think divorce is, it's hard for kids, especially younger kids.
Yeah.
But kids are so resilient,
Totally.
and you kind of just like move to the next chapter because my
Yeah.
parents also got divorced when I was around that age 10. And it, so much changed, but like, I don't know, I grew so much from it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, and I think like as you become an adult, you have to kind of process a lot of that. You know what I mean? Realize like what your insecurities are within relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
You have to kind of work that out.
Yeah.
Otherwise you just end up marrying someone that's your mom or your dad, and then that like inner childhood stuff just comes out,
Right. Yeah.
But also I think, I've never met like a boring person that hasn't been through, or an interesting person. Sorry. I've never met an interesting person that hasn't been through some of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So, but yeah, no, I feel like we have a lot in common. My parents split up, and it was like a lot of cousins and friends on this side, cousins and friends on that side, and yeah, it was a lot of just running around, skateboarding, listening to music, playing in the woods.
Yep.
Playing with stick guns,
Building ramps.
building ramps,
Jumping off things.
launch ramps,
Yeah.
exactly.
Getting black eyes for reasons you
Yeah,
didn't
blowing
think
shit
of,
up.
but
Yeah,
Yep. Shooting guns in gravel pits.
yep. Oh my god.
Riding dirt bikes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So did you have to move like because of the divorce? I feel like that's always a one too, is like when people have to move after the divorce, that just changes your whole like life dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Minneapolis, so like the first, I would say, that it was like up until I was 8, we lived in Minneapolis, and my parents had gotten this little cabin like in outside of Hayward, Wisconsin, Stone Lake, Wisconsin,
Oh, that was beautiful.
like up in the woods. It was gorgeous, but it was like half finished. My dad was like working on it, and then as a kid, I didn't really know much what was actually going on. I was one of 6 kids,
Oh, wow.
so I didn't really know what was even happening with my parents' marriage, or
Yeah.
it was just like I'm just being a kid.
Right.
And then suddenly, my parents sat us down and they're like, we're going to move to the cabin. We're selling the house and we're going to go up and live there. And I don't remember if it got sold or if it was foreclosure or if my dad was just having financial trouble. Like, I still don't know the full story, but basically I went from being this kid living in the suburbs of Minneapolis with a ton of people around to living in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
With my family, like totally isolated. And it was awesome. Once we got up there, we're like working on the cabin, building stuff, like building the big staircase down to the lake,
Fun.
and just like swimming in the lake. Me and my brothers found this like clay pit, and we would just like strip down to our underwear and cover our entire bodies in clay. So we're just like brown, and then we would like have branches and stuff, and we wouldn't even like, we would try to sneak up on each other. We'd play like stick guns. And we started building all these like platforms and tree forts and rope swings. And it was like Swiss Family Robinson up there.
That sounds fun.
And it was amazing, like having that whole experience. But then, my dad started to struggle with alcohol. My mom started to struggle with it because it's like, what else do you do up there? You go to the bar.
Right.
know, and then it was so weird. It all just sort of like fell apart. So it was like this dreamy life up till I was 8. And then, oh my God, we're living in the woods,
Uh-huh.
and then it just sort of like fell apart. And then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, mom and dad are splitting up.
Yeah.
Mom and the kids were jumping in the station wagon and we're moving to grandma's in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Dad's staying here in Wisconsin. And we had this Siberian Husky Bandit that I love. And he just ran off. Like
Huskies do.
It was like he knew we were leaving and he didn't want to leave the woods. I mean, he was like a wolf up there, and we just left him because we waited and we tried to get him back, and it was like we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
So it was kind of sad because I'm like, oh, we're leaving, my dog behind, my dad behind, and then my older brother and sister went and lived with my uncle. we went and lived in my grandma's basement with my mom's family, which is the Gallaghers, all Irish,
Okay.
and it was my grandma, my Uncle Kevin, my Uncle Marky, my Uncle Jimmy, my mom, my 2 younger siblings, and me,
Wow.
all living in this little house,
Yeah.
in Crystal, Minnesota. And then, it all kind of went from there. And that's when I started finding music and started learning guitar. My mom remarried, my stepdad taught me how to play guitar. And that's when I found I started skateboarding, found punk rock, and it was like, oh, this is how I can process a lot of this and just, you know what I mean? It saved me.
Agreed 100%. Music definitely saved me through that whole time period. It definitely is like similar our paths through the world, because right around when I was 10, when my parents got divorced, we ended up moving back to Tennessee from Miami.
Yeah.
And we ended up living out in this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
In Tennessee. And it was just like, you couldn't see a neighbor, for like 5 miles. We weren't near any other houses. And we'd play in the woods. We'd go find old buried cars in the woods. And,
nice.
At one point, it was me, my mom, my brother, my cousin James was staying with us. The guy my mom was dating was staying with us at the time. My mom's best friend Russ was staying with us. And then my friend Jenny Green was staying with us too, because she was having problems at home. So there were 7 of us, and we were all just kind of misfits.
Yeah.
In this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In Tennessee, and just trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went from a lot of togetherness with the family unit to just this crazy mishmash of people who are trying to find their way and going through some rough times with their family units,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was an interesting time. And it was right around 10, 11, 12. Then music just saved the day for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Lots of immersing myself and playing guitar and listening to music.
Yeah, you have to have something to ground yourself in.
Yeah.
When it's kind of, it's chaos, but it's also an organized chaos.
Yeah.
And you get used to being around a lot of different people.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm thankful for, I mean, right, Sam? How many people do we have that come around here? Yeah. My oldest, Liam, is 19 now, and he'll come back. He'll just pop in, do laundry, pop in and out. And there's always people coming and going. He goes, Dad, I love seeing all kinds of different people, but sometimes it's just overwhelming here. He's like, that's why I just had to move out when I was 18, because that's what he grew up with, was just there's always people around, and he's more, I don't know, I think he likes his alone time.
Yep. That's fair.
We're always kind of taking in the strays, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you learn to not take in the certain ones and
right.
taking the right ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of definitely had an impact on me as I've become an adult, where I'm oh, I'm just so used to having people around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how my life has been. Most of my life, it's just been a lot of folks from different backgrounds, different cultures, different countries. And I love it that way, Also, we had a husky named Bandit.
What?
Who ran away.
What?
Yeah, when I lived in Memphis. No, when you first said husky, I was of course you had a husky. And then you're his name was Bandit. I was of course his name was Bandit.
No,
he ran away. Yeah, we had the exact same situation. This was in Memphis after we moved back to Memphis. And we got a husky, and we loved him, and we named him Bandit. And he ran away. Yeah, I never saw him again.
That is crazy.
I mean, I'm assuming he was not as happy as your Bandit in the woods of Wisconsin. We were in a hood in Memphis. So maybe he was trying to find the woods. I don't know.
Probably, yeah, that's probably what he was running through.
Was Bandit. I hope wherever you ended up.
Maybe he went and found the other bandit.
Yeah.
Started a wolf pack.
Yeah, seriously. That's really funny.
That is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, huskies are just crazy though, and they just have the call of the wild all the time. So I'm they're excellent escape artists.
Yeah. I remember him coming back with deer legs and stuff, and just, I'm what? It's just, our new little dog Maggie, she'll bring a mouse in the house. Yeah. Our dogs might get a rabbit or something, but he'd come back with a deer leg. Yeah. Just bring it in and set it in the living room. Okay.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that is wild. So what else was I wondered about? Do you have other hobbies and stuff that you do? I mean, I know you keep yourself busy with your work and music, but got any weird hobbies or?
Yeah. I love birding.
Birding. Okay.
I love getting out into nature and watching birds.
Yeah.
My grandmother was really into watching birds, and
Okay.
so she definitely like instilled in me this appreciation of birds.
Yep.
So I like the idea of going out and finding specific birds that I haven't seen.
Cool.
You know, like when I'm traveling for work,
Yeah.
I'll make sure to research what areas I'm going into and see if I could find like the unique birds that are in that region.
Yep. That's awesome.
I like fishing.
Fishing?
Yeah,
Yep.
I like to go fishing.
I'm just getting into birding a little. Well, I think I'm preparing myself for getting into birding.
Okay.
You know, I'm 44 now, and I'm like, I don't know if that's just like a middle-aged thing,
No.
but my wife's like, she cracks up because she's like, you're not actually into birds. I'm like, yeah, but I want to be in birds. I'm like working on it, you know. So I bought a little, I think it's Birdpedia
Okay.
book, so it's got all these facts about birds and stuff. So yeah.
Have you seen that documentary called Listers? Okay, I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
It's these two brothers from the Midwest,
All right.
and they're like, we're not birders, but I think we should become birders. And so they basically just get in their van and they set off on this epic journey across the United States to become birders.
Cool.
And it's a hilarious documentary.
Oh, okay.
And they're like illustrating a bird book while they're doing it, and they take their camera and they're getting
Yeah,
all
that
these
like
great
takes you to a
shots.
lot of cool places.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or, the parking lot of Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Which is
With birds everywhere.
they learned that you can sleep overnight for free in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel. And
Yeah.
so they have all these stories about
Yeah. Boondocking.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a pretty funny documentary. It's a good way to introduce people to birding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fishing?
I like fishing. Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you fly fish or?
I fly fish. I do a lot of like spinner rod fishing too. I feel like I'm a lot more successful when I'm, using my spinner rod. I'm good at casting with fly fishing.
Okay.
I'm good at catching bushes and trees around me.
Yeah, I haven't tried fly fishing.
It's hard.
I've always wanted to. I think growing up in the Midwest, Minnesota, it was like we'd just hook a worm on a bobber and throw it in the lake and catch a fish.
Yeah.
It was like so easy. I mean, I'd fish with like a beetle spin. I loved fishing like walleye and bass and northern and stuff. So I think when I try to fish down here, I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's a little tougher in Colorado than it is Minnesota.
It is, yeah. Like my whole family in West Tennessee, they were a bunch of commercial fishermen, and we grew up cane pole fishing for catfish. You basically just take a cane pole,
Okay.
put a line on it and a bobber, and just stick it in the mud,
Yeah.
and have like 5 of them stuck in the mud, and you come back and check them in the morning,
Yeah.
and there's a catfish on it.
Yeah.
Or fishing for like bluegill or
Yeah.
crappie or
Yeah.
bass and things like that. It's much easier than fishing rivers for trout around here.
Yeah.
Um,
I love catfish, eating catfish. That's like
me too.
one of my favorites.
Me too. I love
Yeah.
catfish. Lots of catfish fries in my life. But I do love walleye. That's a thing that I'll
Walleye's my
spend on to later in my life.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Last time I was up in Minnesota, we went up to the North Shore of Lake Superior, like just north of Duluth, this little town, 2 harbors. And when you're on your way there, if you take the scenic route along the lake, there's this little, it's like a smoke shop where it's all just smoked fish.
Oh, wow.
And I spent like $120 on smoked walleye. Oh my, like I wish I still had, like I will literally just fly into Duluth just to go get that right now.
That's nice.
But it was it's the best thing I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
Smoked walleye.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere I go in Alaska and Greenland too, there's just like delicious smoked fish and just fish meal like all the time, like anything you can imagine. When I was in Alaska last, I went fishing and I caught some rockfish and we caught some silver salmon.
Oh, cool.
And so that was in July this year. And then I was in Florida in October and caught a bunch of Spanish mackerel.
Okay.
Delicious.
Okay. Are they little?
No, they were like this big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were pretty big fish.
I always imagine mackerels being small for some reason.
I know, yeah. I had no idea that they were so big. Because, I had been before down in that area and it was snapper season. So we caught a bunch of red snapper. But
Yeah.
October, the red snappers weren't really in season. So we caught a bunch of Spanish mackerels.
Cool.
Yeah, so I like fishing. I like,
Awesome.
I just like being outside. I like being in nature.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm.
I haven't done enough of that over the last year. We did a trip to Europe for a month because my wife's from England.
Oh, wow.
And we did like England, Ireland, Scotland, Holland.
Fun.
And that was kind of like that month was like, that was my time to take off and not work and be here doing projects. So I actually I'm doing a backcountry ski trip with a friend in like a week or two, and that'll be my first time like getting out, going camping or spending time up in the mountains, like literally over the last year.
Wow.
Which is a long time for me.
Yeah.
But I realize how bad I need it.
Yeah.
I love just like getting out there and away from everything.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and,
really nice.
you know, just kind of remembering how insignificant my stupid little problems are.
Yeah. It's a good reminder of that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When you get far away from everything seems so minor.
Yep.
As far as like what you worry about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. Have you traveled much like around the world, like other countries and stuff outside of
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, Dominican?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where have you been?
Let's see. I've done a mixture of work and play for travel.
Uh-huh.
I did a lot of work in Central America and South America it was under the umbrella of environmental health, so similar to health and safety, but more like public health. So we did a lot of work with actually cook stoves projects. So
Cool.
a lot of folks still cook over,
Mm-hmm.
3 stone fires, and
Yeah.
that's their main source of cooking. And so there are a lot of exposures to like particulate matter, carbon monoxide in families that still just have a tiny shack that they're cooking over an open fire.
Yeah.
And the women are just super overexposed, and it affects cardiovascular health.
Yeah.
And so I supported a lot of those projects in Nicaragua, and in Panama, and Honduras. And so that was really amazing to be able to do that work.
What did you help them like change with their cooking situation? Did you just like have like better stove technology?
Yeah.
Or, like, do you like rocket stoves or like,
Exactly.
okay.
Yep. So we would work with different stove manufacturers. One of them was Treeswater People here in Fort Collins.
Yep.
So Sebastian Africano.
Okay.
We worked with them in the beginning with our research in Nicaragua. And then we also worked with a stove manufacturer in Honduras. And so that was a local stove manufacturer. So they just had a more efficient chamber for burning the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's less smoke, lower particulate matter. Speaking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with my background in environmental health, I was basically like an equipment specialist. And so we would do a lot of like monitoring for PM 2.5 carbon monoxide, and we do some health monitoring and look at like pre and post as far as like, looking at blood level for or for inflammatory markers.
Yep.
And so I did a lot of sort of like helping support those projects, which was really eye-opening for me. And also just like a grand adventure in those places.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
So yeah, I loved that work in Central America. And
did you guys install like carbon monoxide detectors and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we used the University of California, Berkeley. They have these smoke detectors that are modified so that they can just data log for like days at a time.
Uh-huh.
And so we would use those. And
you'd actually track it.
Yeah. So we do like 4 days at a time.
Yeah.
And look at the different peaks and what was affecting like elevated exposures, pairing that with the medical data that was being collected, blood pressure, blood spot testing for inflammatory markers, exhaled carbon monoxide, things like that.
So you're literally helping people live longer and healthier in these places where they're just used to the environments they're in.
Yeah, hopefully it's more of like, it was at least at the time, and this was like 2009 to like 2013-ish.
Yeah.
I think it's evolved quite a bit since then, since I was involved with these projects, but basically trying to influence a cultural shift around looking at a different way to cook.
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest challenge is, you could subsidize stoves that have cleaner burning technology for people.
Mm-hmm.
But what we found was that most people would just pair it with their old stoves, and then they had like 2 cooking services. And they're like, cool, now we've got this cool new stove, and we're going to keep using our old stove for like the big pots and just have something big going on these, 3 stone fires, and then have the little one for smaller cooking, So it was more of like to me, it seemed like it exposed the need for a cultural shift in how people are cooking and access
habits.
Access to like wood and, how much wood are they using and how much time out of the day are people spending collecting firewood and how far are they going? Are they putting themselves in danger? It was just a really interesting experience for me to see
Yeah.
that part of the world. And it's the same in Africa. Like I worked in Mali and West Africa too. And there's just a lot of interesting projects going on. CSU has a lot of research that they've put out based on Cook Stove's research. So if you're ever interested in going down that rabbit hole.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of work to do still in those areas because there's no perfect answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, helping them change habits and tweak things in little ways just to,
Yeah. I think just it's more like educational on letting people know that it is going to affect their health at some point.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest piece I walked away with is that it was more educational.
Yeah.
But also not wanting to come in and be like someone from the outside who is coming across as like, we know better than you,
Yeah, you're more offering like information and opportunity.
Yeah.
Versus trying to get them to change.
Yeah. So it's definitely like a fine line of not coming across as, oh, I'm this outsider who knows better than you. It's more like, we do know this and how this affects your health.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
cool. Awesome. Well, I feel like I got to learn a lot about you. And we have a lot in common.
I know we do.
How can people like check out your music, support you, follow you? How do they find you?
YouTube channel.
Okay.
Bevin Luna Music.
Yep.
Instagram, Bevin Luna Music.
Yep.
My website is bevinluna.com.
Cool.
And then, all the streaming platforms.
Yep.
Got music out there.
Cool.
I don't know what people's favorites are, but I
Yep.
try to get them out on all the different options, whether it's Bandcamp or, whatever that might be that people are into.
Awesome. And if you're in Fort Collins or in Colorado, check out Bevin Luna and go see her play live.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Want to do a song then?
Sure. I'll do a song.
All right. Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. This is a song called River, and it's on an album called Attack of the Killer Redheads. Got a visit from police today. Tell your son you're going to jail to stay. Had some dangerous positions, along the way. Bought a gun cause this is Memphis, now you're gonna pay. Save some money just to get away. Now the state owns your world to your court day. Don't you know if you run with that river, the state and them boys are gonna be right there with you. Don't you know if you run with that river, the state and them boys are gonna be right there with you. Well, sitting thinking on the day-to-day, how to keep your family safe and the bills paid. You say the neighbors got it in for me, but I don't play. Yeah, you can lock me up and shut me up, but I don't play. Well, ain't no better place to spend the day. You got 3 square meals and games to play, and you got gangsters and murderers, and they both say they'd rather leave you for dead and look the other way. Don't you know if you run with that river, the state and them boys are gonna be right there with you. Don't you know if you run with that river, the state and them boys are gonna be right there with you. So you swallowed your pride to save your life, your love, and a little face. And you got badgered by your friends and your enemies,
from police today. Tell your son you're going to jail to stay.
I like the dogs in it.